Hey everybody, Randy Reviews It here. So today we're going to be doing a little bit of a drama. As you can tell, it's a little bit different than my usual area, but I can't let this go on any longer without making a statement about it because I think it's steering the YouTube gun space in a very bad direction, rewarding the behavior that I've seen. And so what we're going to be talking about today is Trench Grenade and why I hope it ends today for his channel. So, if you don't know who Trench Grenade is, I'm going to give you a little bit of a backstory, talk about why I disagree that some of the, I think, slimy tactics and things he's doing, and what you should do to avoid this, because we don't want to continue to foster these types of people. I would like to see these channels die off rather than grow because it's just bad information in general and it's done in a shady way. So let's get started. Trench Grenade grew out of the ashes of a trash heap of a live stream. He was originally on there to debate Matt Pranka, X-Ray Alpha if you don't know, because Trench thought that teaching one-man CQB to civilians was a valid idea and that people should be doing that. Matt Pranka disagrees strongly with that, as most people haven't mastered the fundamentals. I have not mastered the fundamentals. Unless you're a really high-level shooter, you shouldn't be moving on to other things. And one-man CQB is probably the bottom of the list, if it's even on the list at all. So it's not practical. Unfortunately, Matt was a little inebriated, and he couldn't form his arguments very well. And Trench kind of was spared, a public execution, or I should say a social execution of his channel because Matt was drinking. If Matt was sober, things would have gone a completely different way, and we probably wouldn't have had the Trench Grenade we have now, and things would have been better off. But here we are. So during this discussion, Matt used the term pedigree and a lack thereof to describe Trench Grenade and his lack of knowledge and background concerning being in actual fights, if you will. So, pedigree is kind of describing the background. Matt, with a very extensive military background and a lot of the other trainers, or even a USPSA background, the way that they have it, implies that they're teaching from a big factory of knowledge that they have. Whereas Trench Grenade took this term pedigree and he bastardized it. And he repurposed it to basically describe anyone that was in the military. So, the same way that he's bastardized the word literally, and now that people use the word literally to describe anything that's figurative as well, I think the Webster Dictionary has changed the definition because so many people like Trench use the word literally wrong. They're using it incorrectly. Well, he's using pedigree incorrectly as well. Since then, Trench has found a following of ignorant people that for some reason or another think being a drill instructor is some sort of high-level career. That he's teaching these people and they're basically Navy SEALs after they've had a trench instruction, which is incorrect. Essentially, he's a CrossFit Tony Robbins. He's teaching people how to yell at people more effectively. It's like con man stuff. Like, there's not really a skill set there involved. And it's pretty disappointing that somehow he calls this a pedigree now. So this alone would warrant people to question his takes and ask themselves, is what Trench is saying logical, factual? Does he have the background for it? And the answer most of the time is no. He doesn't make factual statements or logical statements, and his background is lackluster at best. Originally, Trench was a strong proponent of the SIG 320, most notably the M17. He's still got some videos up around it and that sort of thing. Since the issues with SIG have continued, Trench has made a career reporting the news about them. So he he has a decent retcon campaign that he's done as well, because he said some really good things about the M17, and he was a big SIG 320 defender at the start of things. But he has since put out so many negative videos of the SIG 320, which I think are warranted. The SIG 320, no one should be buying it anymore. It's pretty obvious that it has issues. But Trench has put out enough videos that he's essentially changed his background, where instead of being a SIG defender, he is now a SIG, hero trying to take down Big SIG and things like that. And it's disgusting the way that he pretends that he never supported SIG the way that he did. And this isn't the only bad take Trench has had. He's continued to mount numerous fallacies about quote unquote the best setups. Let me tell you something. There's nothing that's like the best setup. It depends on your use of things, your skill level, what you're comfortable with, what you practice with. All of those things. It's a gray area. It's very gray. But a few of these bad takes include, he put out a video calling 7.62x39 a useless cartridge, where it's been used how long, and it has been, there's a lot of people that have been dead because of this cartridge, where Trench goes on these extremes and he uses clickbait. And with this video, he took too much flack from Lemon Grenade and the community that he effectively went back and removed it and then re-recorded one with a weaker take because people gave him crap about it. Then next, he speaks positively about PSA and AAC ammo, which has been known for popping primers. I myself have had bad batches of AAC ammo and I've stopped using it. Since then, we've been seeing a lot of the things pop up with the primers. We've seen jacket separation. We've seen baffle strikes. We've seen all kinds of things. Trench is ignoring that for now. I'm sure he's probably got his hands out, hoping that PSA drops a big bag of money in his lap. But essentially, I think that he's ignoring some known issues, established issues, in hopes of getting his bag. He had another one that he said 2011s are useless for professionals. Last time I checked, there's a lot of 2011s in USPSA. If it can dominate in competitive, it's good for professionals as well. I mean, open guns are probably finicky, and you're looking at certain ammo types, but can anyone disagree that an Atlas is not going to perform well if you got in a self-defense situation and you've been training with it? No. The platform is good. It's just your practice, how you've maintained things, and the quality of the items that you're getting that matter. He's also done some videos about really shitty zeroing information, which, being in the military, you think that he would have a better take on this. But he describes the best home defense setup is a 16-inch gun with no suppressor and a 4x ACOG on it. Last time I checked, I don't need 4 times magnification to see across the 20 yards that are in my house. So it's an ignorant take, and he recommends some terrible zeros rather than plugging in your height over bore and your ideal distances that you would shoot and using a ballistic calculator to find out where's the best zero for you. Chances are it's probably a 100-yard zero, because most of us who are civilians are shooting 200 yards and in. And the list could go on for days. Beyond just those, I mean, just look through his videos. He's eerily similar to the Yankee Marshal in the amount of clickbait and rage bait that he uses. The thumbnails look like Yankee Marshals. They're disjointed. He's putting people that he wants to chase Clout on there. He's putting the Fallout guy. I'm not sure if he's even played a Fallout game or what his history is there. But he's just trying to get people to click on the stuff by any means necessary. There's no integrity, I don't think, with a lot of his videos. And then it got worse. Then it got much worse. He started streaming. Trench Grenade started streaming because the Focus Trip crowd had had enough of his bad takes and his idiocy. And if you've ever been in on any of those videos where Trench is live on Focus Trip, you can see the entire fan base, including me, just disappointed and disgusted and want nothing to do with him on that channel anymore. And so he started streaming on his own. And then on his streams, he invites people that have been on Focus Trips streams previously. A lot of his topics are basically recycled from the video that John at Focus Trip had put out the night before or the morning of or anything like that. And Trench had to use that to create a video to stir controversy or anything like that. So he gets these people on his streams, and then he pretends to befriend them, and then he berates them and talks over them on a regular basis so that they can't establish why his argument is terrible. Like it's just trying to be the loudest person in the room rather than the smartest person in the room. And no one will ever accuse Trench Grenade of being the smartest person in the room. His ignorance shines through on these streams. He's basically Gary Busey incarnate. And he rambles about pedigree incoherently, again, misusing the term. Lastly, the clout chasing. This guy is so thirsty. He calls out big channels in an effort to get clicks. I don't consider Trench a big channel, so calling him out, I don't feel like I'm a hypocrite here. I've called out Yankee Marshall, but it's because of takes. It's not because I'm trying to chase clout or anything like that. Trench, on the other hand, is putting those people in the thumbnail and chasing clout. He's so bad with it, and it's so ridiculous that he includes that person in the thumbnails and then just has some vague title, like The Worst from Garantham or something like that. Will probably be a video from Trench in the near days. But he's pestered Ben, and I'm going to say Stoger because I'm from the Chippewa Valley, and that's how I would say it when I first saw it. I know it's Steger, I think, but Ben, he tries to befriend him, and he's pinging him, and he's sending him things on Instagram, and trying to buddy up with them in an effort to change Trench's public persona. Like, everyone knows that if Trench presented his takes on a live stream with Ben or Matt or Mike Pannone or Nick from Velox, that Trench would get absolutely destroyed. There is almost nothing in common with what Trench teaches people and what he makes content on with any of those people who I consider very, prominent professionals. So he just tries to imply that he's hanging out with them or friends with them or anything like that so that his ignorant takes have some sort of value potentially, when in fact they don't. All right, now that I've ranted a little bit, let's summarize. What we're witnessing right now is the rise of a new Yankee Marshall-esque gumtuber. He just uses clickbait and ragebait to keep a population ignorant and foaming at the mouth. The trouble is, it's working. His channel is growing faster than it should be. And how we've called out things on GunTube to discourage bad behavior, we need to do that with Trench. It's gotten out of hand. I strongly urge you to not just stop following Trench Grenade, but other creators that are presenting incorrect information, if they're being unsafe, if they're being unsavory, using slimy clickbait tactics or anything like that, that you just unfollow them and stop giving them views. He presents his information as end-all be-all, that there's no discussion available, and that's incorrect. There's always a discussion. Things always change. There's always new variables that come into play. And because the world and practical applications of things are grayer than you would believe, fundamentals do matter more than anything else. If I can't dribble a basketball, I'm not going to be a great basketball player. If you can't shoot a gun effectively, train with it, and be regular about even just taking it out of the holster, you're not going to be very effective if you ever have to use that. So Trench teaching CQB, teaching all this stuff that doesn't matter speaks to his character. He spending time on that stuff is a detriment to you. And if you've been in this video this long, hopefully YouTube doesn't demonetize this because of what I'm about to say. But that's why I think Trench Grenade is a piece of shit. Yeah, I said it. As always, thank you for watching. I appreciate your time, comments, feedback, whatever you want to leave. If you think that I have bad takes, you know, I won't. Feel free to comment that. I've learned a lot since my time on YouTube. I'm learning a lot more now. I've taken a class. I'm working on my weight, all kinds of things. You know, better yourselves. Spend your time where you should with your families, learning valuable skills, and not watching Trench Grenade. Take care, everyone. Thank you.